season with the weather we're having.
I bet you wish it was, but unfortunately the sun is going to come out, I swear. Summer is coming. Welcome back to the Miracle Marathon. We have another family here to introduce you to.
Yeah, it's Shane and Titus Verkotteren. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
It's a tough one. It's a little Dutch, a little German in there.
Now I dare you to say the city that they're from, Dave.
Swamico.
All right.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm not from Wisconsin originally.
Oh,
I moved here a couple years ago, but I'm learning.
You are learning.
And,
Okay.
and we both saw the photos of these two guys
Yes.
snowboarding.
Yes.
You've had some experience.
Not snowboarding, just skiing.
Yeah, and I was a skier growing up and tried to take my son snowboarding one time. Horrible failure. Not doing it ever again. But you guys do this a lot, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, and it's great news that you can get out on the slope. So, Dad, let's start with you, Shane. Tell us what was going on with Titus, and when he was younger, what happened, and what kind of brought you here to children?
Yeah, so he never had a seizure until he was 5 years old and fell asleep in the car seat when he was actually with his mom and had a seizure while he was napping in the back seat. Went to the ER in St. Vincent's. They have a great pediatric neurologist up there, Dr. Edgar, that was wonderful, but kind of got to the extent of what they could do for the intractable side of it, because it wasn't responding to medication. Excuse me.
Okay.
Mhm.
It's okay.
Excuse me.
It's very
Sorry.
emotional. We understand, you know? Sure.
He had put in a referral to come down to children's because of the capabilities that children's has that long ago between up there. And, between that and wonderful ownership of the company that I work for that has a direct relationship with children's, it's been a wonderful experience. And not to get ahead of your questions, but now that we've been seeing free after everything here at children's is God seems to
No, nothing short of a miracle, right?
Correct.
That's exactly what we're here
Yes.
talking about. So he was diagnosed with epilepsy,
Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
And so here at Children's, they have a Wisconsin's Epilepsy Center. Is that where he was treated? Tell us a little bit about your experience with that.
Yeah, so all the superheroes that they look up to, it's amazing, like through all of the, the PET MRI was one of the big things coming down here, and from what I understand, that machine is rare enough that they share it with others, including the hospital next door. Having him be able to go under that testing was extremely helpful in them making the recommendation. So he went through several MRIs, EEGs, and spent several 3-4 day stints here on top of the ones at St. Vincent's in Green Bay, and through all of that went to the panel, and almost unanimously with all of the great minds that are on that panel recommended lobectomy.
Can you explain to us what that is?
Yeah, so the right temporal lobe was removed from his brain.
Oh yeah, to hear that your child needs surgery, okay, and then to hear that he needs brain surgery feels like a whole nother level.
Yeah, and I was under the impression, even going into the meeting with the surgeon, Dr. Lou, which is amazing, that you weren't going to take any part of my child's developing brain, regardless of all of the research and, I became a medical, clinical trial and case study expert way more than I ever thought I would. But nothing rehearsed, obviously, their expertise, but just to educate yourself as a parent to make a decision. But that's the way I went into the meeting, but more information is good information. So, and more options is always a better thing. And when you have a surgeon that is published and does brain surgery again for both amazing hospitals, schedule something at the end of the day so that they can take as much time as they need to answer any questions that you have and never be sold or convinced or anything other than educated. That was the turning point. I went into that meeting with all of this information and that viewpoint that I mentioned, and walking out of it going, I think that's the best way to do it, and thankful, and their approach to it is a big reason for that. And I'm thankful for that because it made it easier to make the decision, which led to him now being seizure-free after 12 hours of surgery.
Wow.
Titus is now 10, and you mentioned superheroes a moment ago. Do you have a favorite superhero? Or?
Batman?
Yeah, I love Batman. Have you seen the movies or just the comics, or how do you follow that?
Movies?
Mm-hmm. Yep, those are good. And it says here in your bio that, we always talk to Doreen about how maybe kids play video games too much, but it says here you've got other interests besides video games. You'd rather have what in your hand as opposed to an Xbox?
Switch?
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. I think I read that you like having a hammer. And you like doing work with a hammer and hammer and nails and stuff. Yeah. Carpentry. Did you get that from your dad or not? Uh huh.
Yeah.
So you can build stuff together. Dad, is that how it goes?
Yeah, no, he's got more of a creative brain than I have, that's for sure. So, and the stuff he comes up with is amazing. So, and as a parent to see that work and then to come to with something it's cool seeing the creations, especially when it's he's really good at it.
And so he can just be a 10-year-old boy, and you know what? If he wants to play video games, that's okay too.
Yes. I always say I'd rather him have a toolbox than an Xbox, but if he wants to play an Xbox, that's fine too.
A
It's
little bit of both.
education, right? Yeah, oh, now I can hear your
You touched on it a little bit, but just for those that are listening, that are thinking about donating, why would you tell them to go ahead, make that donation?
To be honest, it was when you have a very well-respected neurologist recommend Children's Hospital for your capabilities. It made a difference in him that I don't think he'd be seizure-free.
No, that's huge, right? No. And you said,
It's harder than I thought, sorry.
and you said when you were in front of the panels and the doctors, they explained to you what was going to happen in terms that you could understand.
Yeah, and it was in an educational way that there was nothing but the notion of to make the best decision for your child. And they know that. And they're not pressuring or convincing or selling and that time thing that I mentioned, you can only imagine what his elderly rate is, right? So, but no concerns with that, right? It was so that you could make an educated decision. And all of the programs and things that Children's has on top of the medical side of it. I mean, we're talking about the dogs and the craft people, and I forget the exact names of the
Child
programs.
services.
Yep, and the tutors and just the all-around experience while you're being provided the amazing care that you are given here. It's definitely worthy of, if you're going to donate somewhere, to donate there.
That's right, because all of those things are no charge. They're offered here just for the well-being of your child, and that is where your donation is going to help families like this, like Titus and Shane. Thank you so much for sharing your story. You can call 414-337-9554 to donate, or you can text WKLH Kids to 34984. Make your donation now so families like this can have more successes.
Yeah, you heard how emotional it was for Shane to tell the story, so make it easier on dads and moms like that by donating now. 414-337-WKLH. That's 414-337-9554. As we continue with the Miracle Marathon on 96.5 WK.